Hey guys, back here with Tua for another video. Update pup date time, week 40. If you are new to this channel, I do this style video every Sunday on my Bullmastiff Tua as he turns another week older. Basically, I just update you guys on anything I experience as he turns another week older. And I do these videos not only for myself to look back on one day, but to create a great log of information for any potential future Bull Mastiff owners on what to possibly expect with the breed. I know I had a lot of questions going into getting Tua, and just want to create a great log. There's lots of good stuff out there on Bull Mastiffs, but this is kind of a week-by-week breakdown on what I experienced with Tua here. I touch on all kinds of things, from his training abilities to his physical growth, what I'm feeding him, what I'm doing to socialize him, drooling, barking, his energy levels week to week, products I use, all kinds of things. And if he turns out to be a great dog like he has been so far, you'll be able to kind of see what I did to go ahead and shape and mold that. So go ahead and check out all the videos if you're interested in the breed. I want to apologize in advance. I'm dealing with some laryngitis issues, so my voice is going to be coming and going. And it seems like the more I talk, the worse it gets. So I'm just going to try and get through this video. Again, apologize for the cracking voice. Usually I start these videos out with just some kind of new stuff from the week or something that I feel is kind of noteworthy or that stuck out to me. And this week, I'd say, he definitely still has his puppy moments. But when he's not like in that full-on play mode, I'm really surprised with how great he is with our kids, how tolerant he is with our kids. You've seen in a lot of these videos, I show our 2-year-old kind of crawling all over him and stuff like that. And I'm showing right now. Unless he's really, really in a play mode, he's completely cool with her, jumping on him, crawling on him, pulling on his tail, touching his face. It's crazy to me how cool he is with that. He's very tolerant of her. He's never snapped at her. The only time that he ever, has an issue at all is if he's very excited also, and I've touched on this many times in the video to be careful, especially when the Bull Mastiffs are young, because they can get very excited also, wanting to play, and they can knock kids to the ground. So you just want to be very cautious with that. But when he's not in that play mode, it's unbelievable to me how tolerant he is of our kids. My 2-year-old can even grab him by the collar, as I'm showing you right now, and kind of walk him around the house. She'll take him outside, and he just walks with her. It's kind of crazy to me. But just something to make note of. I believe that they're kind of known for being tolerant of kids, but I'm starting to really experience that myself, and it's starting to stick out to me now as well. A couple new products this week. We did get him a new bone. It's the Extreme Dinosaur Bark Bone. I just got it off Amazon. I kind of said last week how I'm starting to go away from the soft toys because he's just being able to tear them up, in a matter of several hours for the most part, as his jaws are getting stronger. So definitely trying to find more hard toys and experimenting with more hard toys. Would love to take suggestions from you guys as well. But this one seems to be pretty tough. He's been working on it now for a week, and he hasn't really worn it down a whole lot at all. He seems to really like it. I guess it's supposed to be bacon flavored. I can't really smell anything on it. But if you're interested in the bone for your dog, I do have a link down there in the description and in the comments. Another product that I got is this Perfume Spray. So the last couple months, I've kind of been noticing that Tua will kind of start to smell, like a wet dog here and there. And I don't bathe him that often. He's 9 months old now today, 40 weeks, and I've given him 2 baths. And it's not like it's a very bad stink, but it's enough to, you kind of notice it. So I was looking at the different products to kind of be like a cologne or like a freshener or just like a dry shampoo or something, and I came across this one, and I actually got it 2 weeks ago. I just wanted to experiment myself before I told you guys about it. And it says you're supposed to give it to him after baths, but I didn't give him a bath. I just sprayed it on him and brushed it in his coat like it says. And I'm very impressed with it. It's like I said, it's been 2 weeks and I can still smell it on his coat now. I feel like it's made his coat softer as well. Maybe that's just me overthinking it, but I feel like it definitely has. I'm not necessarily like in love with the smell that I got. I got the show dog smell is what it's called. But there's a few different kinds that you can get, and I'll probably go ahead and experiment with the kinds. But that show dog smell that I said I'm not necessarily in love with, it's still a lot better than that kind of wet dog smell that I was getting from him. So I'll definitely take it. But I'll have a link to that also in the description and in the comments down there. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested. But now I'll go ahead and start touching on the stuff that I touch on every single week. He is a month older now, so we're going to do height. I do that monthly. At 8 months, he was 27.5 inches tall at the shoulder. Just got him measured in now. And he's a ½ inch taller, so he's up to 28 inches now. And like I always say, I'm just kind of eyeballing this. I'm just doing it with a tape measure. So there is going to be a little bit of like room for human error in there, you know, by a 1/4 inch or something. But as of right now, at 9 months, he's 28 inches at the shoulder. I also update you guys on weight every single week. Just got him weighed in. Last week he was 111 pounds and he's 114 now. So he's up 3 pounds. I've been saying how he's definitely still a very skinny dog, and he still is. But I feel like this was one of the first weeks where I've started to notice he's kind of starting to fill out. He definitely seems like his body's getting a little bit thicker. Definitely can't see his ribs like as easy anymore, I feel like. And it was just, like I said, the first week that I was able to kind of start noticing that. He seemed to be getting skinnier and skinnier week to week, and this was the first week where it kind of felt like he was definitely starting to fill out. So that's good. Definitely excited to see as he keeps putting on that weight, and hope he continues to turn into be a nice big boy. Definitely not in a rush to put that weight on him, but I love that the size that he's putting on here. Food is another thing that I touch on every single week. If you're a regular viewer of this channel, you know that I supplement with raw food to go along with this kibble. I'd say I'm at about a 60-40 split here still, with 60% of that being his kibble and 40% of that being some sort of raw meat and fruits and veggies. This week I just did ground turkey, chicken gizzards, and strawberries. He's had all of those before. He did great with them again. If you haven't ever tried raw for your dog, I'd encourage you to do a lot of research, look into it yourself, and experiment with it yourself. I was very apprehensive right away going into doing the raw food, but I'm glad that I did. It's kind of become a fun thing to go pick out foods for him, research the food, see what kind of nutrients he's getting with them, stuff like that. As always, if you have any questions, you can ask me, but I'm not an expert. But I am getting a lot more comfortable with feeding him raw. Socialization is another thing that I touch on every single week. Last week I had said that my wife had her fantasy football draft, so there was a bunch of new people over for him to meet, and he did great. I actually had my fantasy football draft this week also, so there was about 12 new people that Tua met for the first time, and I was really impressed with how great he did. I didn't keep him on his leash or anything as people were coming in. We just had our draft in our garage. And I couldn't believe how great he actually did. Pretty much everybody that came in, he had some initial excitement, but after 5 or 10 minutes, he pretty much just went back to normal old Tua, acting like nobody was even here. He kind of went inside to back into the garage to back out. He loved everybody petting him. He just overall did great. I was super impressed with how good he did. And that just kind of shows, what these dogs can turn into if they're socialized properly. We put in a lot of time and effort into making sure that he's been meeting people pretty much since the first day that we brought him home. And I kind of said it in the last video. It's really nice to see that our efforts are paying off here. He's been a very well socialized dog, and like I said, it looks like it's paying off big time. I couldn't believe how great he did with 12 new people that he'd never met before. No bad reactions to any of them. Just a little bit of excitement initially, and that's it. But he's going to be a great, great people dog if this keeps up. Drooling is another thing that I touch on every single week. As usual, I'd say, 90% of the drooling that he does is food related or water related, with most of that being water related. Mainly it's just when he's done drinking water, there's that excess that gets caught in his jowls and kind of pours out afterwards. And I will say that it does get very messy during that time, but you know when that's coming. So just have a rag or a paper towel handy. Also, if he's waiting to get his food, like as I'm preparing it, he'll start to drool, but it's definitely not as intense as right after he's drinking water. The only other times that he really drools is if he's panting heavily, if we're out on a walk and it's a hot day or something like that, or if he's stressed out. He did drool a little bit one time when he was stressed out. There was some fireworks going off, and he was kind of pacing around the house and stuff like that. And that was only one time, just one incident. But he definitely isn't a drooler like just around the house if he's just lounging. He's has to be like doing some sort of physical activity, drinking water, being stressed out, or eating food. So I know drooling is a big issue for people when they're looking into a bull mastiff, and that's my experience with the drooling so far. It hasn't really been a massive issue. Barking is another thing that I touch on every single week. Tua has not been much of a barker. He will bark in certain situations that I would consider to be like guarding type situations. If we're in the yard or in the house and he's hearing noises, he might let out some barks. If he's playing with another dog and they're kind of, in intense play, he'll bark in that situation. Other than that, though, he's a pretty quiet dog. That's pretty typical for the breed. They're not known to be big barkers. And I'd say he's so far up to this point, 9 months old, 40 weeks old, is kind of typical to that breed standard. He will do some barking and some guarding type situations, but that's about it other than play. Energy is the last thing that I touch on every single week. I've been saying now for probably the last 5, 6, 7 videos that his energy level has slowly been coming down after it kind of peaked. When he was kind of in that teenager mode or teenager phase, I was calling it. And it continued. He has a few hours a day where his energy level is high and he wants to run and play. But other than that, he loves to just lounge around the house, be lazy, chew on his bones, chew on his toys, just be around us, for the most part. He does do a lot of sleeping during the day, especially during the week when we're working. But he's never turned down, like, to go for a walk or to go run around the backyard or anything like that. So it's not like he's overly lazy, but he definitely, I would say, prefers to just kind of chill out, except for, 2-3 hours a day when that energy level's high, and he kind of is telling us that he wants to go burn off some steam, or whatever you would want to call it. So yeah, he's definitely starting to mold into that breed standard of being a little bit on the lazier side for a bull mastiff. Other than that, guys, that's it that I have for the week. Go ahead and let me know if there's anything that you'd like me to update you guys on, other than the things that I already do. Other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.